Why do I recommend capping it at 50%? Well, because the average person is already spending 60 to 70% of their income on what they think are essentials. So by locking in your lifestyle at 50%, it forces you to actually eliminate what you don't need. It also changes your mindset from wanting to spend more of what you earn to wanting to earn more and increase your income, which is always something you should be doing. Step 2 is to shrink the 2 key categories. So many people talk about cutting out the little expenses like Starbucks coffee. Honestly, I'm guilty of saying this myself. However, if you want to make the biggest impact, then you first need to focus on the 2 key categories. Let's start with housing. For most people, this is the biggest expense, but it doesn't have to grow with your income. Always renegotiate your rent when the lease is up. Most landlords would rather keep a tenant than go through the hassle of listing, cleaning, and showing the place again. Even a small reduction or freeze can save you thousands. If you want to go further, think about house hacking. That could mean renting out a spare room, splitting a place with mates, or even moving back with your parents while you build your buffer. If you can manage to limit housing to half of your essentials fund, then that's a pretty good place to be. Now, let's talk about transport. Car payments are one of the biggest wealth killers. People lease brand new cars for the monthly status hit and end up paying for years on a depreciating liability. That's why I always recommend buying used, reliable cars that have seen the majority of their depreciation, at least until your income can support a nicer car. By that, I don't mean if you can just about afford it. It should be under half of your essentials fund. In walkable or city areas, you could even consider getting rid of the car entirely, as it can free up hundreds of dollars per month. Because it's not just the car payments you save, but also the insurance, maintenance, and parking charges. All added up, this can be a big saving. Once you've got those 2 areas under control, that brings me on to step 3. Use rules, not willpower. When you're tired, stressed, or even just bored, your willpower disappears. And that's exactly why the top 1% don't rely on it. Instead, they build systems that make the right choices automatically.